Alright, sorry about that. I messed up something with my first video. You cannot go full screen because it doesn't work well. And then you see, okay, I want to see, we see the shoe. Look at how dirty they are. Look at those shoes. Look at how dark and filled with soil and another crap. Not even the sole of it, the under part of it, but even the sides are dirty. And I understand he wears contraction. Fine, you know, he wears contraction, he steps in a lot of shit. Fine, I understand that. But you don't have like a set of professional shoes, like some leather ones, some professional ones. Like I have some running shoes that I wear when I work out. I know I wouldn't wear that to meet my girlfriend. And I've been told that the first thing women notice about a man are shoes. So you can bet your ass that when I go on a date, I wear my best shoes every single time. And Lauren, I was gonna say he's wearing the worst shoes he has, but this is probably the only pair he has. He doesn't see a point in buying two pairs, but look at how dirty they are. It's unbelievable. If you want a closer look, look at my favorite picture. Look at that. This is not just slightly. This shoe is completely dirty. It's so ugly. It must stink, first of all, and second of all, it's so dirty. It's ugly. And the fact that he's sitting there and he has his feet on the sofa like it's nothing. But Lauren, did you look at your shoes? And they're actually touching.
Thank you.
You know, they're touching the back part, the part that's on your damn, I forgot the word, but the heel is on the, so the dirt is getting on it, you know, the crap is getting on it. Look at how dark it is. So look again. And look at the motif, you know, the kind of implant you have, the pattern you have, waves, extremely cheap. Look at your shoes. I have, right now with me, I have a $20 pair of shoes. Give me a second. Okay, I have a $20 pair of shoes, and I look at the under part of it, like the part that does the footprint, and it looks approximatively like that. It looks very like bland, very like average. It's not an expensive pair of running shoe. Like I look at mine, and it looks actually a bit better. But there's no real cushion, you know, cushion to absorb the hits. But there wasn't any. It's not like it's used up. Well, yes, it's used up. That shoes has been used up to the thread. It's completely used up. And the fact there's a cheap pattern like that, those shoes are completely finished. Throw them away. Throw them in the trash. Don't go, at least clean them if you want to keep them at all costs, because they're not torn away. There are no holes. I guess that's a plus. But if you're going to keep them, at least clean them. If you're going to keep them, at least keep them. But again, those are such cheap shoes. And Kayla, we don't really see the shoes, but I'm guessing she has some real shoes, you know. Next thing I love about the picture, look at his knees. The way his knees are pointing. He actually has very weak leg. Look at the way it's developed here, the height of the, you know, that's the big part of the leg, the quadricep. It's not much bigger at any place than the rest of the feet.
Thank you.
So that guy, he has skinny legs, you know. Lauren, you should really do leg days. He doesn't have big legs. He has big shoulders, but the legs, I don't know why. I would expect someone, you know, especially in construction, to have more bulked leg, and I love that. One more thing I like about the picture, we don't see it. Of course, he's wearing white socks. You know, why not? That's the first thing you learn. Like, I don't even have a pair of white socks anymore because it looks fucking stupid, especially with white shoes. But really, white socks look stupid with everything. And look how dirty the side of the shoes. Oh, this is gross. Burn them, Lorne. Throw them away. I know it costs $20 to buy new shoes at Walmart, but come on, dude, you're 36, 37 there. You should know better than that. And yeah, that's what I like about the picture. But the element I like the most about the picture, look at him playing with the remote. That's what I love the most. I really love that. Of course, he's not even looking at it. He's just holding the remote, and he actually clicks.
I think it's pretty.
You see, he clicks at the end. And like, look at how he plays. You see, he presses on the button like he's just trying it, like, massage there, massage there, oh. But he's doing that out of nervousness, just to keep himself busy, and that betrays what kind of anxious person he is. Like, if I'm gonna meet my girlfriend for the first time, like my online girlfriend, You don't want to end up in that type of situation. You don't want to be led and then you sit on a chair and you're anxious, you don't know what to do. So I would normally, if I meet a girlfriend, I would have something to do. Like I would not just sit there and wait. That's what I like. The fact that he's playing with the remote here, like so nervously, just to keep his hand busy. And you can see that hand doesn't have anything to keep him busy, to calm his nerves. So it really doesn't do anything. It just keeps the hand there. And that hand is going to stay there.
It's pretty.
It's going to stay there forever. You see, it's still there. That hand, it's just frozen in time. See, it's still there. Didn't move. He's right-handed, of course. So you see the hand. You see the right hand's gonna move to pick the paper with Chris after, but the left hand doesn't move at all until he leaves, and that I like a lot. I like the fact that his hand is not gonna move, because of course when Chris arrives, he's frozen. But look at the expression of Chris. Chris has both his hands moving. And Lorne only uses his right hand with his exchange that we know of. So the left hand is going to stay like this. And that's interesting. There's a name for it. I don't remember it right now. But basically this hand is basically stuck there. He's not going to use it. He's just standing like that playing with the controller. And his left hand is not in the portrait. It's not in the picture. And that's the way he's going to... he's so nervous that he can't really move. And that's one of the reasons to use a chair like that. The way he's sitting now, with all the stress in it, he can't really move. The only part moving is the head and the right hand. And that's pretty interesting. Some people talk a lot with their hands, and Lorne does not really in that exchange. And that says a lot about how he's feeling right now. When Kayla comes, he's very nervous about her, and when Chris comes, he's very nervous about Chris. And that shows what kind of man he is, the way he manages stress and everything. What I mean by that specifically, when Lorne is going to be very stressed, he's going to fiddle with stuff, with a pencil, with a remote. When it was with Kayla and he was nervous, he fiddled with his dick. He played with himself or that stuff like that. That betrays that he is an extremely anxious person. He probably has a generalized anxiety disorder. I don't really believe in that diagnostic personally. I think it's a lot of crap. But he's an extremely anxious person, and he's very bad at managing anxiety. And I feel bad about that for him. But then again, it's his fault. He's a fucking pedo, so F him, right? The fact that his left hand doesn't work. There's a lot we could go here. We could go, for example, about the fact that maybe he was left-handed and he went to school and they slapped him and say, use your right hand. That's the kind of stuff they do to left-handed people. But I don't think Lorne was left-handed. I think the reason his left hand is not going to move is more like he's frozen there. He's frozen there and he can't really move anything except his head and right hand. He's really stunned, first by Kayla and second by Chris. And that also says the kind of approach he's going to do. The fact that hand is not moving again. He's not really trying to tell a story or get the guy to agree. Some people, when they're caught on the show, they go like, sir, it's a misunderstanding. I came here for the house. No, Lorne used a very, very, very submissive approach with Chris. Like he looks extremely weak with crying and saying like, I did it for her. I was going to marry her when she's 18. I shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. That's his way of showing that he's submissive. That betrays that his appearance of being dominant. And look at how comfortable he is. Chris is right to say you look pretty comfortable there. Like he really took the seat like it's his. But the way that hand is not moving, if Lorne was truly dominant, first he would not have sit in the chair because, Kayla's not going to tell him what to do. So if he was really a dominant people, like he's trying to be, like he wants to be a dominant person, he would be moving much more his hand and he would not look that comfortable. He would look much more stressed out and he would be much more taking control. And he is taking control of the conversation with Kayla, and that's fantastic, but more in a surreptitious way, not really in a dominant way. That's what is so interesting about the picture. Last element that is interesting about that image, which is absolutely perfection. The shirt is cheap, but look at the few pounds, the few extra pounds he has. And if you don't believe me, look, you can see he has a few. He almost have tits, to be honest. He has a double chin, of course, but when you see that pic, he has an ample t-shirt. The t-shirt is about one size too large for him. Actually, I don't know if it's too large for him. It seems to fit pretty well at the shoulder level. I guess he's broad shoulder, but you can see he has a belly. Well, we see it for real in the Lorne pictures. But in here, it's pretty clear that he's fat. Okay, he's not in shape. He says actually in the sonography, I worked yesterday in construction and now my shoulders hurt because I haven't used those muscles in a long time. So we know he's fat. He's overweight. Overweight, balding, no money, nothing. You know, that's pretty pretty bad. So that's why I like this picture a lot. It's one of my favorite standstill. Thank you. It's very pretty. I'm gonna show you a bit later what's gonna happen.
What did you want to do?
I want to kiss first. Again, the left hand is immobile. And actually, right now, he is probably the most nervous he's ever been up to that point. He's going to be even more nervous when Chris comes. But right now, he's so nervous, he can't really, that's why the left arm paralyzes is interesting. He's so nervous, he can't really think about stuff. So he shuts down some of the processes of his body. And, you know, he's so nervous he can't focus to have a coherent strategy. That's why he tried to minimize what he do. You know, he doesn't move a lot. And the way he talks, it's more like an automated talk. It's more like automated reply. He doesn't really think about any of his replies. Both to Kayla and Chris. The way he replies, you can see that it's not a thought-of response. It's something pre-planned, pre-programmed. He's so nervous, he's not capable of thinking straight. And he's not going to be capable of thinking straight for a good while. So we know for a fact the way he reacts is how he is because he cannot fake it. He just reacts automatically. So the tears and all that really shows what kind of person he is, meaning a manipulative idiot and a fucking rapist. That is what is so fascinating. So to sum it up, he's extremely nervous, like 1,000 times more than John Elliott is actually nervous too, but Lorne is much more nervous than John Elliott now. He's at the top than a human. Like the next part, he's gonna get a heart attack, and you might think he's nervous about meeting his baby girl. Yes, he is nervous about the meeting, but he is nervous about being there in general and actually getting to see her and being in her house. And he's acting like he's not nervous, and that's a taught behavior. That's a learned behavior, but I have more to say about that later. But the way he doesn't move a lot is because, again, he tries to minimize the number of processes, so he does the minimum. It's like his brain is shutting down and he's going with the minimum. The minimum. Imagine that 99% of his brain is occupied by his stress. So he's only working at 1%. And since Lorne is not very smart, 1% of not very smart is very not smart. So that's why he doesn't move. He can't really move. He can't because he's shutting down stuff. He's not able to concentrate to do a move. That shows just how he felt at that moment. And I like that a lot. Then Chris is gonna arrive, and you can see Kayla, her body language, so much more relaxed. She's such a good actress. The way she's leaning like that, that's the kind of position Lorne should be taking. And if you watch the cop guy, the guy that gets tased, when he sits on the chair, he's not sitting like Lorne. I can try to show you perhaps, but when he's sitting on the chair, he's leaning forward. It's a bit hard to do. It requires more energy and concentration to lean forward because it's bent backward. But the cop guy actually does that. And I'm gonna try to show you. I think it's worth it. Like, sorry about that. I want to see you the cop guy really really quick. Don't want to get a copyright strike. Towards the hand, you can really see how the cop is leaning in the chair. I really don't want to get a copyright. That's him here. I know them all by heart. Look at the way he's going to sit in the chair. That's Kayla. Look at how pretty she is. She doesn't look like Kayla at all. Look at the hat. That's a pretty expensive hat. You have to give me that. We got a closer still of her. Even the shirt. That's the shirt that's easily $40-50.
I'm excited.
Look at how he's sitting. That's exactly what I mean. And he has a beard there. That's pretty weird. Never noticed that before. And that's the hat, I guess. He was wearing a hat. I don't know what this is. That is fascinating. But look how he's sitting. Compare his sitting position to Lorne. I'm going to show you more just to be 100% sure you get what I'm saying. Compare this to this. He's less nervous, more confident. The way he sits, it's not very comfortable. It's not comfortable, but you can see he feels uneasy about sitting in that chair. Like, this is a stranger house, and now, nah. The way he sits, and doesn't have his shoes on. Look. That guy removed his shoe. Great, great, great. I'm happy I showed you that now. That guy had the decency to remove his shoes. So that's cool. Or is it because they thought he had a gun on him? I don't know. Maybe they said, "I remove your shoes. You might have a gun there." I don't think so. I think he. Let's try to see. Maybe we can see.
Strong eye on him because you never know. So you're a cop.
Oh no, we don't see him. We see in the extended footage, but John Raven. Like she asked, "You have a gun?" He has his shoes there. I'm sure he's not gonna be outside without his shoes. But we see him walking, but only the extended footage. I'm gonna Google really quick. I think it's worth it.
It's dateline.msnbc.
I hope I'm not gonna get John Raven. Yeah, 2000. Michael Patterson extended footage. Maybe we can see if he removes his Michael Patterson extended. If I get a copyright strike, I'm gonna extended footage To Catch a Predator. But we see him walking. Phone conversation, guilty pleas. I know it's somewhere out there. Michael Patterson, nope. I know it's somewhere out there. We see him walk and talk a bit more. It was on YouTube before. I like that a lot. He removes his shoes. And again, the way he's sitting, he's more respectful, I would say. And does he bring the beer? I think he might have brought the beer in. Maybe he's the one that drove with a beer between. Yeah. He has a bottle of beer. Like, what the fuck? And that's his hat. Okay, that's a bottle of beer. So he just get out of his car. He has a bottle of beer. Or maybe it's just Perrier water and didn't want to leave it in his car. And he has a hat. I guess when you drive 5.5 hours, you kind of have to. Then when he sits in the chair, oh, I just lost it. You can actually, that's when you get and you actually can see like that also is pretty weird, like the way you can see a bit more of the house. That's interesting. Oh, the police is there. Just want to show you. Oh, that was like their F. You see the hat is there, so he put his hat on the table with the bottle of beer. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool of him. That's pretty cool to remove his shoes. Compare that to Lorne. Lorne is really acting confident. Okay, like it's his house. That guy is more respectful. That's how I would sit if I was there. So it's a recliner. Okay, that can recline a bit. That's cool. So that's what I thought. That's why I love That's why I love that picture so much. I love that picture a lot of Lorne. So thanks for watching and have a good night, everyone. I hope you enjoy.